Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. What's the news from the world of boxing? So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we got some heavyweight news, and this kind of news that we should all be knowing about. And there's the heavyweight division. We're gonna talk about the heavyweight champion of the world. The main one got to be Tyson Fury right now. The man he beat Deontay Wilder, drawed him, and then beat him real good, right? So we're gonna have to talk about something, unfortunately, that's going on. It's the investigation in the Tyson Fury about doping 2015 with wild boar. You had a pig farmer come out and said, "Hey, wait a minute, I gave him the wild boar, and that's why they got the nandrolone in their system." So they got a backdated 2-year ban. Still got banned, and when I say they, I mean Tyson Fury and his cousin Huey Fury. So at the time, this pig farmer said, "Hey, look, I gave him the wild boar." But then, we had about 4 months ago when pig farmer comes out, he's 70-year-old, Martin Carefoot came out and said, "Hey, listen, I was in it deep, right? They would offer me 25,000 pounds. And hey, man, that's why I said with the wild boar, but actually I don't even have wild boar at my farm. I didn't give it to them. They didn't pay me at the time. I've been intimidated on and whatever. So I was in too deep. So I went on along with it back then. But that's not really the case. And I'm sick of living with the lies and all that. People need to know the truth." So that was about 4 months ago. And the UKAD, United Kingdom Anti-Drug Administration, said we're going to reopen the case. So, some of us are wondering, damn, that's a long time ago. Takes a long time to investigate a 70-year-old who said he didn't give him the wild boar. He said most of those pictures that were taken with wild boar were not at his farm. So, they're supposed to be investigating. Well, anyway, it comes out that the man has withdrawn his claims that he didn't give him wild boar. Right? Let me just read this, so we can, I just want to bring you up to date. Let me read a little bit real quick, maybe a little bit more, so everybody's up to speed on what's going on and we can talk about it. Okay, pig farmer who claimed he was offered 25,000 to lie and clear Tyson Fury over failed drug test has now dropped his sensational allegations. Right? Lancashire pig farmer who claimed he was offered 25,000 to lie about Tyson Fury's failed drug test has now dropped his allegations. Martin Carefoot said he is no longer cooperating with the investigation into heavyweight champion Fury's positive test for anabolic steroid nandrolone in February of 2015. Fury and his cousin Huey, a fellow boxer, sparked controversy when they tested positive for nandrolone in February 2015 following a urine test. In September 2016, Fury was accused of refusing to provide another sample for further testing. Just keep on following now. Both men denied doping and maintained that the presence of the banned substance was because they had contaminated meat supplements and because they had regularly eaten uncastrated wild boar. Wild boar meat and offal which includes entrails and internal organs, is thought to bring about a rise in natural levels of nandrolone in the body. So that's why they came with it, right? And the story was supported by Martin Carefoot, who initially confirmed that he had supplied the meat. Right, let me just go down here. Now, however, in March this year, which we were just talking about, the investigation into the boxes was reopened after Mr. Carefoot claimed that he had been bribed to provide false statements to clear the boxes. He said at the time, "I felt," what we were talking about, "I felt fed up with the lies and deceit. The public needs to know the truth. I'm happy with the public know what is all this is about." I think they meant now. "I feel cheated and used." But in a shocking U-turn, he has now withdrawn his allegations after it triggered the reopening of UK anti-doping investigation and threatened the future of Tyson Fury's long-awaited fight with Anthony Joshua next year. So he's taking it back. Mr. Carefoot told the Times, "I have had nothing but problems right from the beginning of this, and I don't want to get involved." The farmer refused to elaborate on his reasons for withdrawing his claims. Let's stop there for a minute. So he said, "I have had nothing but problems from the beginning of this, and I don't want to get involved." 70-year-old man says that, right? And then the next sentence we write is, "The farmer refused to elaborate on the reasons for withdrawing his claims." That's elaboration right there. "I've had problems from the beginning. I don't want to get involved anymore," right? But anyway, we'll keep going. During the initial investigation, Mr. Carefoot, he had regularly supplied wild boar meat to the Furies, sending it to their gym in Bolton. He provided 2 written statements confirming that he had been approached by a member of the Furies team who was looking to purchase large amount of high quality fresh meat on a regular basis to Tyson Fury and Huey Fury. All right, because it has high protein requirements. I supplied one fully butchered wild boar pig to the Team Fury generally every 3 to 6 weeks, Mr. Carefoot claimed in his statement. Although some customers will want specific cuts, Tyson Fury was keen to utilize the whole animal, including liver, kidney, and other offal. Right? Once the animal was slaughtered, butchered, I would place the beef in plastic trays, which were clearly labeled. However, in March, the farmer said his statements had been fabricated, and not only had he not supplied the meat to the Furies, but he had never kept and killed wild boar. Right? He said he was paying back a few favors when he wrote the initial letter about supplying boar meat. However, he then found himself in difficulty when asked to provide photos of the wild boar on his farm and images of uncastrated boars. They asked him to say, "What's up with the pictures then?" He eventually confessed that the photographs, which we're talking about, sent to the lawyers were taken not at his farm but at a nearby Bolin Wild Boar Park in Chipping. Right? He also revealed he had never received the 25,000 pounds that from Fury's entourage. "I've never kept wild boar," he said. "I have never killed a wild boar. The closest I ever got to a wild boar is when we once got some for a customer in the shop, and I actually chopped it up, and that's the closest I've ever come." All right, so he's not a wild boar specialist, obviously. So I'm hoping you guys catch up and not getting bored. Explaining why he had given false testimony, he said, "I was in too deep. They were dangling this carrot. I thought you're going to get 25 grand for this. I thought it's not a hanging matter. And so I went along with it." The two boxers had eventually accepted a backdated 2-year ban, which allowed them to continue their careers a comparatively minor penalty. Right, that's the article. However, then Mr. Carefoot's shocking claims. He has now denied withdrawing the claims after being intimidated and insisted he had been paid. He hadn't been paid. So he's been intimidated and hadn't been paid. UKAD said it had told police about the farmer's claim and have been offered a bribe. Whoa, right? So listen, UK anti-doping has alerted Lancashire Police to this matter and is working closely with them. Due to the continuing nature of the matter, we cannot make any further comment at this time. So the United Kingdom Anti-Drug Administration is working with the police. Normally we'd be like, okay, well, it's taking 4 months. And you're thinking about it with the police, you know, I don't know how you think about it when you're talking about the police, because I've told you about it when the police stopped somebody 119 times and put crystal meth in the back of their car. 119 times. And when the district attorney heard about that case in Florida, where he did it 119 times within 2 years, that they got upset that somebody had the nerve to even look into something like that. They weren't happy to find out that they had a rogue cop, but they were mad that somebody had the nerve to look behind the cop. In 119 cases of people going to jail when they shouldn't be going to jail, people having a record of having crystal meth in their car who never had that, and that's what's up. So I don't know what that means being with the police. You know what I mean? So that's something. But when you're looking at this, to me, it seems as the guy, old man, is trying to cry out, tell you, "Hey man, I'm being intimidated, I'm being harassed, so I don't want nothing to do with this." It's ridiculous. That's what it sounds like. That's what it probably sounds like to most of our ears. I mean, I don't know. Either two things are supposed to be happening to Martin Carefoot if he was lying. He should be getting psychiatric help for coming up with an elaborate lie like that for no reason against very dangerous people you messing with as a 70-year-old, to just come up with everything you just came up with to mess with with some people like that. Everybody's boxers, big, bare knuckle, got people from organized crime in the team and all of that. You want to mess with these dudes and be lying, right? Then he should be getting psychiatric help. Or we should be hearing from slander cases. People like, wait, man, you lying or something like this. He's supposed to be getting sued long time ago. Not just now, long time ago. That's not happening either. And for people who are on Tyson Fury's side and trying to defend this kind of thing, you kind of remind me of, we had a Ukraine scandal with our president, and you're thinking, well, we know what's going on with the senators. They didn't want to hear anything. It doesn't matter how guilty he is. We don't even want witnesses to come in here. But some of the people that were involved were testifying in front of the whole Congress, so the senators had to listen too. They didn't want to hear it. But so we have our ambassador to the Ukraine, a woman. coming in telling you that she's doing her job, and after a while, she was doing her job, and Trump and his boys got upset about it, so they start, getting on her, basically, wanting to fire her, telling her that she's going to be going through some things, right? Stuff like that. So I'm thinking, this lady's fearing for her life just doing her job as ambassador to Ukraine. But because they're doing some illegal stuff with Ukraine, she's in the way because she's not into the illegal thing, in the loop. So she continue to do her normal job. So she's in the way. So she will experience some things. So that scares a woman. So I'm thinking when Congress hears that, with the senators, that at least that would supersede whatever it is that's making them not look away, making them look away from everything else, right? It's got to be, it's a woman now. At some point, a man says, okay, well, damn the other stuff, man, you ain't gonna be messing with no woman or something. Or you ain't gonna be messing with, in this case, a 70-year-old guy. You ain't gonna be intimidating no 70-year-old guy. Hey, what the hell? But it's something that's more important than even those kind of emotions. And we know what it is. Something that say, I don't care if you bribing an old man. I don't care if you intimidating an old man or nothing. We're gonna have to do that because this has to go through. And the U.S. media is blatantly not covering the story, right? And we've got a heavyweight champion that has allegations like this, and we won't even, we just report it that the allegations are out there. That it's a United Kingdom Anti-Drug Administration, investigation into this for months. We ain't heard it in the American media, but somebody can come out on Instagram or Twitter, and say something, and there was a big time news. Big time news. People go to Instagram to find their news, or how they're gonna do some YouTube stuff. Now the dude is in a big investigation, and the whole, everybody's investigating this guy. And you got a guy crying for help, an old guy, basically. That's what he's doing, crying for help, and it's still not important. Well, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think that the investigation is probably going on, but it's going in one direction. I think that this is pretty much open and shut. Somebody either, like I said before, either Martin Carefoot is nuts, extremely nuts, or he's telling the truth. I don't think there's too much gray area there. So I think it's pretty easy to find out who's doing what. Let's see what's up going forward. At least after 4 months, we finally heard that something is going on. So looks like the guy is retracting his statements. I doubt that very seriously. Dover Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.